This is still the Pundits, and thank you very much for staying with us. This morning we are coming to you live from Salma's Eatery and Pub here at East Legon. You can easily find them on the map when you want to be here. Find them on Instagram also. Whatever you need to order, local, continental dishes, whatever beverage that you want, just call on Salma's Eatery. They are located right here in East Legon. I'm clothed by Mandi Fashion. Mandi Fashion is located in Kumasi at Ahunjo and here in Accra at Adringano. Now, like I said earlier, we are talking about who gets to be a brand ambassador of one entity or the other. My guests do not necessarily need any introduction, but I'm going to introduce them. To my immediate left, I have George Britton, the man who is very controversial and says quite a lot of things, and these days he's looking for a female artist to manage. George is a pundit and an artist manager. George, you are welcome.
Wow, thank you. But I didn't know it was controversial.
You are.
I am.
You know.
Wow, no.
You know that.
I think I'm the decent version of Bulldog.
Bulldog, are you listening? Okay. Next to George, I have the man that most of us call Master Richard. Some of you refer to as Dada Boat. He's an actor, he's a media personality, he's a brand influencer, and definitely the right person for today's topic. Master Richard. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me this morning. Yeah. So when we talk about brand ambassador, who is a brand ambassador? Let me start with you.
Like the name connotes, like you mentioned, a brand influencer, someone that the brand feels could connect with their market, and therefore the brand decides to use the person to communicate with the market. So these are, I believe, these are the things that a brand will look at in selecting someone to become a brand ambassador. Then again, for a brand, because brand ambassadors are also called corporate ambassadors anyway, so you need to have that corporate clout around you as an ambassador. You have to have remained in a way that the brand feels decent to deal with you with regards to their market. So it takes a lot of qualities for one to be determined as a brand ambassador. Most of it, which of course is done by the board or the management of whichever corporate entity, but a lot of work has to go in as an individual to earn the opportunity to become a brand ambassador. Wow.
George, who is a brand ambassador to you?
I think Dada Boat, as you all know. I think as Dada Boat has stated, brand ambassador, like you said, is someone who has enough influence, enough influence to influence a society to purchase a product or a service. So, like you said, this is something that started way back in 1900s. You understand, when celebrity was born. So ever since, they found a way to combine both, because they realized that now a celebrity is someone who is very famous in the society, and it's easier for him or her to endorse a product. And when such thing is done, it connects easily with the client or with the end users. So brand ambassadors are people who have the influence, to sell products, if I should put it that way.
Okay, so now we are talking about celebrities and public figures. Is there a point where in the person's life, when the person starts coming up, that we can say that this person has reached a certain level where now brands can come in and tag him or her as a brand influencer to be the face of their company or a certain product they are marketing?
Of course, there's a time for everything, and I feel usually with brands and celebrities, they look at a lot of things. Now, some of the things they look at is, one, your quality in terms of the things that you put out. If you're a movie star, the quality of movies that you put out, one. The secondly is your popularity. The third will probably look at, I think the two is what they look at more, because then and depending on the brand that wants to come in for you, if I'm a rugged brand, I probably might look out for a rugged celebrity, no mentions here, but first and foremost, what will advise my decision to go take a brand ambassador, especially a celebrity for that matter, I will have to look at a lot of things. I mean, like I said, how popular is the person, and not just popular, how is he able to connect with the audience? So with that connection, I think my brand can sell. So then I'll look at engaging him or her services.
Then about when, I'm not exactly sure when you started this ambassadorial deal with companies, but if you cast your mind back to your very first one, how did it come about? Like, how was the approach like? If you know what it is that they were looking out for, that they approached you, and how it all panned out?
Well, I was doing my work. I was trying as much as possible to influence my followers as much as possible with regards to the TV products that I was doing. And like George rightly said, you know, it depends on a lot of things when you get to the point where the brand feels that, oh, this guy is acceptable to most of the people who occupy the space in our market. So it was, I think, and remember, my very first work officially as a brand ambassador was for a product called Castle Milk Stout. Yeah, I was doing that with Kwame Sefakan.
Yeah.
You know, that was the very first official thing that we did, and it started from 2002. It was 18 years ago. So we're doing that, and I don't think that even the brand owners believe that we could catapult the brand from where it was at that moment to that very next level. So it was an experimental issue then. Then it worked. So we kept on and kept on and kept on. And I worked with that business for quite a long time. So I feel that for me, when I get such opportunities, what I try to do is to try to prove myself. You know, I try to delve deep. I try to believe in the product myself. And then that is, if I don't believe in the product, it means that I can't communicate it to my fans or the followers or the market of that very brand. So it takes a lot more for me to really believe in it, understand it, then I can communicate it. So that was what I was doing, probably to have earned the results for the brand to have carried on. So that was when it happened. That was 2002 was just about when Taxi Driver was even about to go off, because started Taxi Driver 1998 and then around to 2002, and it went off in 2002. The Taxi Driver really went off 18 years ago.
Judge, why are you laughing?
No, you are sitting with a legend. Take autograph before he leaves.
So it was around the time, I think Taxi Driver had also become one of the most viewed television programs at the time. So it gave us a bit of a value.
I was in primary school.
Yeah, it gave us a bit of a value around the time. So these are areas or things that we're doing that I consider form the considerations of the brand to get us on.
George, you have dealt with quite a number of people in the entertainment industry. If a brand comes to you that we want to sign your artist or your producer or whoever it is that you are managing at the time, what are the things you take into consideration before you finally accept to go on board? Wow,
interesting. First and foremost, you look at the brand. You look at the mileage that the brand can equally put on you as the artist or the celebrity. Then third of it, you look at the money involved. You know, the money makes it exciting. But then, like Master Rocha said, it should be a brand that you will, one way or the other, understand and fall in love with. Because at the end of the day, your duty is to communicate or to market it. So, if any brand works to me and say, hey, I have a product and I want your artist or anybody that you can recommend for us to help sell our product, clearly I'll look at if it is my artist, because you see, what I do is most of the times I represent some artists in some of these dealings. You know, I quite remember a year or two ago, I was representing an artist to get a deal from one of the betting companies. So we had a meeting and we're all involved. Everybody was smiling at the end of the meeting, but the country manager said, let's give ourselves probably a week or two so we could study ourselves even more before we sign the contract. And within that space, something happened to these artists. So then I had a question. So they say the reason why we didn't do it. So most people look at, okay, so this brand that we are going to sign on, even though he might be popular or not, but does he wholly qualify for what we represent? So if you do not, and mind you, I mean, over here, most people don't even do these things as business. What they do is that, yes, it is business, but some of the managers here attach so much emotions. That makes it even dangerous. You know, they attach so much emotions to, I think I like you, I don't like you. So an environment where about 60% of the workers really admire this guy, and the 40 think, oh, he's
But which artist are we talking about here?
Unfortunately, I can't disclose that.
Why?
I can't disclose that.
Is it got to do with the new betting company that we saw recently?
New? Oh, no. You know, I've been dealing with betting
them.
companies before these ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, not these new ones. These
But
new ones, I've not had a dealing with.
Is it the one you are managing now?
Camido? No, Camido is yet to sign any deal. You know, it's a young artist. So we are discussing. And you see, what we do at our company is that we're able to grow you as an artist, and then we market you to some of these brands. So we have, we liaise with the agencies and tell them that this is the capability of our artist, and we think he has this reach. So if you can also assist us by getting us products that align to this, his following, you get me, then we can sit down and come. But if, somebody with that abortion status, he's been able to achieve, even when he was out of town.
Should be signing us as brand ambassadors.
Even when he was out of town, even when Dan Abbott was out of town, his name was still here. So
exactly.
when he came back and, we about
releasing. It was like his presence wasn't exactly felt because the brand.
No, but they say anytime that the Dada Bone name is mentioned, you can put a face to the name.
Yes.
So therefore, it makes it easier for him to sell the brand. Now, anytime I drive past 37, I see two billboards. His and Stoneboy's billboard. Why? Because these billboards or these brands have associated themselves with brands that we already know. So it makes it easy. We want to mount billboards for our upcoming EP. So anytime we drive through town, ask Camido, what billboard did you see when we're coming? And he struggles to even give you one or two. You get me? Why? Because most of the people on the billboards are not people that he's so familiar with. Or probably there's no connection. You understand? I'm sure when from GH1 to this place, you saw quite a number of billboards.
Yeah.
But there were some few ones that I can still remember. Why? Because that is the role the celebrity is pushing here. You get me? Celebrities have that power that, force a product or a brand on us. Let's go back to 1980s, where Michael Jackson had a deal with one of the cola companies, which was quite a huge sum of money, about, I think, $70 or $80 million then. Now, those days, there was this, I wouldn't say fracas, there was this huge competition between the colas, and each and everyone wanted to use somebody who can help drive. So in Michael Jackson's case, the other cola came and said, okay, we're not just signing you as a brand ambassador, but we are also going to do something amazing. We are going to go on tour with you. So he actually had two deals from this product, and hey, at the end of the day, the product won, Michael Jackson won. So you need to look at what the product is bringing on board for you as a celebrity, and then again, what we both benefit.
That about, we've had some stories about some agencies and companies being extremely difficult, and sometimes they make working for you guys not easy at all. Have you had a case where you've had to deal with an agency or an entity who wanted to sign you, and along the line they were giving you different vibes, telling you different things, probably not going according to what the contract stated?
Well, from those of us who have come from that background, this experience is quite normal, because I've worked within the industry when producers had to beg TV stations to put their products on air. I've worked within an industry where television stations, even when you're putting your programs on them, sometimes you want to talk to the sponsor directly, even though you had the business, because they want their money and all of that, because they had the say, you didn't have anything. So with an industry where there are no structures, that's what occurs. And exactly like George was saying, I'm very impressed with the way he does things, because he's putting business to showbiz. I mean what we do is very, very important. And he rightly mentioned that it's not always even just the product that you look at. You as a brand yourself will have to look at the influence the brand will also bring you. That's what he just mentioned. That's very important. So most of the time, it's not just about the brand dictating, okay, we want you, we're going to pay you this. But for you to ensure your own longevity in the space, you also have to guarantee that this brand is going to add X and Y to my image for me to deal with them. Otherwise, sometimes there is no point. But because of these inadequacies with regards to proper management for celebrities and people in the arts, most of the agencies, even some of the brand owners, take them for granted. They don't treat them very well. They are underpaid. Sometimes you have no option as a celebrity to accept it the way it is, because there are no many options and all of that. So a lot of things come into representing a brand in Ghana. You understand? So that was what I was going to talk about. When you look at brand ambassadorship outside the shores of Ghana and what happens in Ghana, there are two different things that are done. And some of us, our prayer is that one day we'll get there, probably midway.
You're talking about some celebrities being cheated along the line. But if that's the case, then isn't there the possibility that you go back to the contract that you both signed and the provisions that it gave you? Or how difficult is that?
That's what I'm saying. A mentor of mine told me one day that never go to a contract or a meeting that discuss a contract on an empty stomach. because you make compromises that might affect you in the future. You will never know. I have gone through that circumstance. I don't want to share which business and all of that. But sometimes,
it's difficult to say no, you know?
It's difficult to say no. Then you realize that these people are overusing my image. But how do you complain? You understand? So most of the times, contracts are even written in favor of the entity than you, the celebrity. Because we don't even have managers, we don't have lawyers. Yes, it's true. I keep saying it. The Ghanaian celebrity is not well managed, and there are not many of such capacities to even manage them and be able to talk contracts and all of that. Some of us, we've sacrificed to keep it floating.
Very true.
Judge, now talk about these lawyers, management stuff. Last week on the show, Socrates Safo made a statement that the showbiz industry do not take the business part of the whole deal seriously. Because I am thinking that for someone with a brand like Dadabot, should have a lawyer, should have a solid management team, because he's been through it all, been there, done that, has a very solid brand and image right now, so that we don't have to be dealing with all these issues. I understand if an upcoming act or actor or someone who is new has to go through this because the person is just building. But what about our top stars?
Of course, I think with his level of experience in the industry, before he signs any deal, there's not going to be a one-on-one anymore. Of course, there's going to be an attorney or lawyer, and of course, and a manager. Now, what happens is that even with us, I mean the young ones, like you said, most of the brands would like to bully you because they will tell you that, listen, I'm giving you the value, you know, so benefit from me. I'm a bigger brand, and if I sign you, you know what the value adds to your brand. But those were gone on the days. Now I feel I've been able to amass following. I've been able to build certain level of influence in the society. So if I work with you and I say, hey, go grab a bottle of water, this particular water, I think I can be able to, send a message to few people. Yes, there are a lot of water on the shelves when you enter into any shop, but you probably choose one because of somebody, usually. So I wouldn't come and say, sign me because Charlie, forgive me something small. No, it is about time, because then when these people sign, the reason why we need to be very careful going out to sign these deals, because you might think you are small today, you might not know the kind of work you're going to put in the next few days or years to come. So if you mistakenly sign a 5-year deal where you're giving few cities, then after 6 months or 3 months, or let's say even a month, because you can become an overnight celebrity. Who knows?
It happens in Ghana all the time.
Yes, it happens all the time. So what you have to look at is, first of all, engage a lawyer to read the contract. Now, what most of us feel in this industry is because we think, like you said, we go to meetings with empty stomachs to sign contracts. Now, when the figure is mentioned to you, you ask yourself, Charlie, 10K, they go visit me. I mean, I know they do anything. So 10,000 can do enough. But then you should look at the value you are also putting on this product. You understand? I mean, we sit here and know, on top of my head, on top of my mind, I can call 10 products that I know they are affiliated or associated with celebrities. It is easy for me because I put the face of the celebrity to the product. When you ask me mosquito coil, I know there's a yellow mosquito coil in town. You get me? When you ask me of energy drink, 1 or 2 comes to mind. You get me? So you don't just go and sit there because you're hungry. You go sit there and have a proper conversation. Now listen, I am going to represent your brand in the next 12 months or 24 or 18 months or whatever the duration it might take. I am going to take you X amount of money. Go with a lawyer. Let the lawyer pay. See, pay the lawyer. Lawyers don't charge much. I think in our society we are meant to believe that.
We have that perception.
Yeah, we are meant to believe that some
recently I started engaging quite a number of them.
Good. And they are easy to use.
Yeah.
Did they help you get more money? What happens is that, especially in Ghana, when you're having a deal with anybody and make mention that, okay, I will involve my lawyer, then they get scared. Because all that comes to mind is litigation. Charlie, they go see me and all these things. You get me? But when I have a contract and I give it to my lawyer to read, there might be some clauses in there that a layman I might not understand. You understand? But somebody who has a law background will be easier to deal with this thing. So you need a lawyer to interpret the contract. Then you need a very good management to understand where you guys are going. Because if a product we were living in this country where a network came to sign a bunch of artists. So many of them. And do you know, after signing this contract, most of them died off, if not all of them. Why? Because they didn't. I'm telling you. I mean, I don't want to mention names. But
you need to give us names, because do I give you the networks that we have here? We know we have Vodafone, we have MTN, we have Airtel to go, we have Globe. So
okay, so one of them that you mentioned signed.
Which of them?
Are we allowed to do free publicity for anybody?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so let me say this.
I want you to give me names of some of these acts that you are talking about.
Globe came to sign a lot of artists.
Which ones?
From Edem, Tiny, Becca, Asem, Fia, and a lot of these guys. Now, these were the same times where Glow was, an emerging brand in Ghana. These were the times that most of our musical concerts were being organized by the Vodafones, the NTN, and all. Airtel. Was it Airtel then? I think Ariba. No.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, one of Zen, and all these guys were doing concerts. Now, they were signed to this brand and were given not so much money. Now, because most of our events then were being sponsored by these competitors, they decided not to engage them. And I think the brand really went for long. The contract, it stood for a very long time. So, and what it means that people had to, one of the few means that people get to know people's music was performances. And now these were the guys who were constantly sponsoring events in this town. So yes, you might have gone for that few dollars, gone for footage to South Africa, come back and sit down in Ghana. You get me? And even with that, because amongst all the guys who signed the contract, I think it was Becca who probably had somehow, maybe a better deal because she had a better management then. Not disrespect to anybody else, but we feel Kiki was in a better space to negotiate than
negotiate a better deal.
Yes. So Becca was the filler that came out said Becca had the biggest share, you know, which was good. But that was a downfall of the likes of Assem, the Chinese, bringing them. Most of these guys, because then within a period of a year or two, they were not fully engaged. All you do is release song and put on radio or TV. If you want to organize events, maybe your small event, because we're not going to see you at the perform at the Ghana Music Awards or any of the bigger events.
Because you were an ambassador to another network.
So if of course, if the money is good enough, I think that now if they come to sign anybody else, the person will look at all these things and give them crazy figures. You get me? Because they do it in Nigeria and other places. You get me? But over here, I think we are so cool with very little amount of money, and it's killing us. So now we are open. So if you call us,
I read.
And then because we now understand that, okay, for you to be a celebrity, it takes time because you build this. You get me? And if that about here right now slaps a taxi driver out right here, it's a news for the whole country. You get me? So if such a person is going into a deal, a lot needs to be considered. Yeah.
Right. This is still the Pundits. My name is Ajwa Loud. We are coming to you live from Salmes Eatery and Pub here at East Legon. Contact them for all your food needs and beverage needs as well. I'm clothed by Mandy Fashion, located at Adrengano here in Accra and at Ahojo in Kumasi. We'll take a quick break. Please stay with us.
Well, how far has the coronavirus spread here in Africa? Why are there so few tests in such large populations? Can Africa afford mass testing? Can social distancing still be achieved despite poverty, infrastructural challenges, and sheer indiscipline? This is The Breakdown, BBC Africa's COVID-19 special program, helping you make sense of the crisis.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
My name is Drama Kamoko, aka Buko Maguda Bandits of Fort, the foolish man must be tasted, and the great of Okro. It's a cassava shame. Buko Magu live to GH1 TV, the Africa and the worldwide TV. I'll give you the better news in the GH1. The news has to be understood by all its affairs. The news has to go down to the basis, but who bring the news to the people? Mean the original Brahma Kamoko, aka Buko Magun, our community and offend, Mr. Understood. And we also misunderstand what is given to us by the way of news. So I, together with GH1 TV, our favorite, have decided to bring you the news from our point of views. So from Bukom, Nima, Madina, Asawase, and all the swag area that you people call slums, I will bring you Bukom Banku live news with swag. My brothers and my sisters, I'm the university graduate. So from today going and from today now, keep watching GH1. We are the best solution of Ghana. What about
GH1 TV.
You are still tuned into Pundits on GH1 TV. We are coming to you live from Salmes Eatery and Pub here at East Legon. Do contact them via their social media handles, Salmes Eatery. I'm clothed by Mandy Fashion GH. Mandy is located here in Accra at Adrengano and in Kumasi at Ahojo. Now we are talking about brand ambassadors. Who qualifies? What are the challenges? And every other thing that entails being a brand ambassador as a celebrity or a public person here in Ghana. My guest today, let me reintroduce them if you are just joining the show. George Breton is a pundit and an artist manager. George, please say hello to our new viewers.
Hello.
And next to George, we have Master Richard, or better still, Dada Boat, whom some of us grew up watching. He's an actor, he's a media personality, and he is a brand influencer. Master Richard, please.
Yeah, but I'm honorable Mikio Sebe. Mr. Richard,
Right.
yeah, well,
Right,
I've
so
been an assemblyman before, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
okay.
Accra Newtown.
and henceforth, no, oh, but it was
If I
only
honor-
honorable.
Because Doctor Okoro retirement, Doctor Ene.
So that-
Doctor. So honorable Mickey Osebeko,
Thank you,
aka
thank you,
Master
thank you.
Richard, or
AKA.
Dada Boat.
All right, thank you.
Right. So brand ambassador deals. Do you just accept any brand that comes to you because you are probably in your peak? You are just waiting for the deals to be coming so that you'll be seen everywhere, and for your fans or audiences to be thinking you are working, or you need to take your time to sift through and be careful which people you are going into a contract with?
It depends on where you're coming from, where you're going, and your understanding to all the activities around your brand as an individual. Like you said, you might consider a brand for several reasons. Sometimes it's because you are not there and the brand will add up. Sometimes you feel too good and you want to work with a brand. You need to accept deals for different reasons. Sometimes it's because you love the product, you are not getting paid much. But all of these, like George said, are very, very important to consider. But the most important thing is the management situation that I spoke about. You know, it has to be worked out holistically. What I'm trying to say is that now you need a very good manager. You understand? Our understanding to management here, I realized from days, way back, was an errands boy. I mean, he and a few have brought some discipline to that, where they dictate certain things in the artist's life. But hitherto was an errands boy they call a manager. What I have been thinking about is that we don't have many people with the capacity to manage creative arts people. You understand? How many schools teach artist management? Where do we get them from? But for people like him. So these are challenges that are there. Even the laws that protects the artists, copyright and all of that, are not working. Some of them not well defined. Some of them you can find entertainment laws in books from 1960s. It doesn't cover social media or even the internet.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that some artists know that we need managers, we need lawyers, but the structures are not there.
Yes.
Even not many lawyers know about entertainment. There are several times that I've spoken to lawyers about certain things I'm doing and how the law can protect what I am doing and what gives me right and all of that. Not many lawyers, must be honest, have gone into all of that, because it is not interesting. If you become an entertainment lawyer specializing in representing entertainers, you won't get many clients. So,
but we can do better, can't we?
That's what I'm saying. So
time, yeah.
there needs to be a reformation across board. We need systems. You understand? You know, we need to understand that if you are an entertainer and you are working for a brand, some of the brands don't even think about the car you drive. They don't look at how you live. They don't even think about your welfare. Then you ask yourself, if I committed a crime right now, for lack of what I'm supposed to have, would they still want to use me? They don't understand most of the brands.
Yeah.
They don't understand all of these things. And I feel that it's not their fault, and it's not the fault of the celebrity as well. There are no systems. Even systems that will rake in enough for the celebrity to make enough money to pay for management and all of that are not there. We sit here and we always watch television stations going for sponsorships to pay foreign actors. They pay Mexican and Indian actors, Indian producers. Yes. That's what they do. And everybody's sitting on there looking at that. And when I say celebrities are poor in this country, people complain, but that's the truth.
It's the truth. And
George,
that is the truth.
Is there something public figures or celebrities, because I've been made to know that they are two different entities. Is there something they need to do right to attract these sponsorships? Because I'm sure as much as the companies need them, they also need the company. And it adds up to their account as well.
George, I'll take this one out of this.
Please go ahead, yes.
There was a show on a TV station. Okay, very popular Indian soap novella or telenovela or shampoo novella, whatever they call it. And a very big business here in Ghana had to invite these actors to come to Ghana, hosted them,
Stadium.
gave them the fanfare. And Ghanaian actors were looking on. Are you getting my point?
Yes, I
So it is not for the celebrities for us to get attractive to the business. Even the media is campaigning for sponsorship for foreign actors. The media.
So what we're talking about the media. If, let's say, our film industry, in the last 1 year or 2 years that I have been engaging some producers, some filmmakers, they keep saying that the industry is dying. Producers will say, I'm talking about the film.
Yes.
Producers will say, one very known producer here, Abdul Salam, I have quite a number of engagements with him. He says that he stopped producing movies. Now he's doing series so that it's put on Iroko TV, and there he can get his money from. Because people are not willing to come together and do things to revive the industry, take it back to what we knew. So in this case, what is the role of the actor?
The role of the actor is to demonstrate like they're doing for George Floyd. Are you getting my point?
And are they doing that?
To get the attention of the policymaker.
So if they are not doing that,
I said I was going to do a naked demonstration last year, thinking that would threaten them to change, but I realized that they want to see my nakedness, and I won't give them that because they're not going to change. The role of the actor is simple. For me, you need to educate yourself, you need to get better at your skill, but there's a role for policymakers to ensure that there are laws. There's a regulation that says that 70% of content on television should be Ghanaian. Who is arresting these people who are flouting this regulation? Nobody.
So in other words, lawmakers are not, and policy makers are not doing
their work.
They're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Not just movie. I mean, of course, we have the same issue.
No, I refer to the movie because it was coming from
in the next 20 years, when we talk about high life, many people will not know what it is.
That is true. We are losing it.
But we still talk about movies like I Told You So, Heritage Africa.
You see, I think this is it. When it comes to the movie space, I might be wrong. If I am wrong, he'll correct me. Now, there's something that I've realized over the past decade. I think most people who occupy the spaces as actors and actresses don't have professional training. So in this space, anybody can just get on TV and he calls himself. It got to a time when you go to Kumasi, if you meet 10 people, out of the 10, 5 are actresses or actors. Because they feel, I mean, somebody will even go into this space because I want to be popular. That is one. Two is I want to make money, let me put it that way. But you see, in any environment or any industry where people in there who do not read about their craft, you go nowhere because you don't have the knowledge of the industry. So what you do is I wake up in the morning, hey, we are shooting, let me go and shoot, hey, you get a producer, probably get a producer sleep with you, make you a star or something. But at the end of the day, do you even understand what you are doing? Because trust me, most of the people in our space do not understand what we are doing. I might call myself an artist manager. All I do is take pen drive or CD to DJs to play my artist music. When it becomes a hit, I'll be seen following, like you said, a follower. But I think as a manager, it is my duty, to manage the day-to-day activities of the talent I'm managing. Because just like being given a company to run, if I don't manage what the company fail, then I also fail.
It's your failure as well.
If I have an artist, Like I keep saying, I've been writing, I've been doing national service all along. Now we are the study manager artists. You get me? So when I have a product, to me, an artist is a product that I need to market well. Because when a product is well marketed, then you can sell to the consumer. Now, we live in an industry where the end user only thinks about dancing to the music, or they're watching a movie on the screens, and that's all. But elsewhere, when you put out the music from the studio to the radio, TV, and everywhere, even bars and all these places, anytime the music are played, you are supposed to be paid. But here, it doesn't happen. So, how then do I get engaged with, like a question, how then do I engage with a brand? Now, I sit back and analyze the strength of my artist, his niche market. Now, if I have an artist who suits the student base, then I sit back and equally look at, okay, which product on the market or which product equally targets students. Now, that makes my conversation easier because then I have what you need and you also have what I need. Give me your Kelly Willy so I can go sell it to people going for convention. Usually Kelly Willy people, they chop, convention people, they chop Kelly Willy. So if I'm able to, merge these two, there are times I remember my previous artist I was managing, most of the videos that we shot were paid for by brands. Okay. Because then I'll come to you and say, listen, I have an artist who has this reach. We're going to shoot a music video. And when we shoot a music video, our range is between 800 to probably 2 million. So if you want to reach out to these people, that is online. Now, aside online, we have the TV space who are going to show our videos. Fortunately for us these days, the TVs are having more. So we are equally going to get your brand across the nation. If you agree with us, and of course, agree with the figures, we shoot. I mean, everybody knows that Diabetes by Kecho was shot by Casa Preco. You get me? So aside that, other products came in. So don't be so free promo, don't worry. I mean, aside that, going forward, because we as managers get to know, I've now realized that it is not just foreign artists. It is a 9 to 5 job now for me. Well. You get me? So I take my artist as a product and look out for another product that can equally match her.
Honorable. Now, when you are signing the contract, are you given any education on taxation? We've seen the GRA go after some celebrities for tax evasion. Do you get any education that a percentage of this will be deducted to pay taxes, or is it your duty as the person signing the contract to go and pay your own taxes?
I think it's been made easier. They have what they call the withholding tax. So they withhold it from the business before they even pay your money. So what you do is you get your receipts and then put them to the Ghana Revenue Authority. So the businesses do that even before they give you your money. What happens is that if you don't think about it very well, they will take it out of the charge that that's what you need to educate yourself very well about, that if I'm charging 100 cedis, then plus the withholding tax. But if you don't agree on that, then it means that the withholding tax will come from your 100 cedis.
Oh, okay. So if I get you correctly, if you are signing the contract and you are charging them, let's say 100,000 Ghana,
it should be exclusive of all taxes. Yeah, okay. That's how I present my invoices. That is exclusive of all taxes. So whatever is the tax component will be added on that for the bill payer. You understand?
Big education for
so that is what it is. So that when they do their withholding, they pay the withholded tax to the Revenue Authority. So it's very, very important that we look at those. Yeah.
Right. Now we've been talking about corporate entities investing in our industry, the arts, culture, and entertainment. What are some of the things that we can do to bring these investors here, and not just look at making celebrities their brand ambassadors, but for some of these big companies to invest in the music industry, in the film industry, in the sculpture industry? What are some of the things we can do?
There ought to be policy making, regulations. Like he said, the musician is supposed to make money from what the radio stations play. Where is the mechanism to even determine that they played Mr. X song 12 minutes or 1 minute for how many times in a week? There's nothing, you see. So that's what I'm saying. How would this musician be able to afford a lawyer or proper management? You understand? The systems are not there. But if the systems are there and XFM is playing Mr. Y's music, he knows that at the end of the month there is a machine that logs how many times they played my song and how much they are paying for it. So even when I go to Gamro, I don't need to go and argue because the documents are there. Radio stations 1, 2, 3 played your song this month and this is how much you made. So you know your levels of revenue as a performer.
Very true.
You understand? But when you are sitting there not knowing what's going to happen next, you understand? You don't know when you're going to get a TV show to star in because most of the prime time hours are given to foreign producers. I'll keep saying this because it doesn't show that we are civilized people. Any TV station that shows any foreign program is telling Ghanaians that we are not very civilized. We need foreign cultures to educate us because our culture, our heritage is not good enough. That's the communication.
Very true.
George, you want to add something?
Very true. I mean, to add to what
probably this might be my life. The education bit that you said is very, very key because the system is not structured. We don't have educational institutions training people in the creative arts. So most of the creative arts people are working from that ignorant level of practice.
I mean, we can easily tell by looking at what is happening on YouTube now. I mean, everybody thinks, Charlie, when you put content on YouTube, you make money. So everybody takes a phone, recording it and put on YouTube. So big shout out to my people in Kumasi. YouTube is social media for them, and it's amazing how they are allowing that to kill their industry. Now, when you take a look at the movie industry worldwide, is booming, and I get excited when I see the current Nigerian movies that are coming out. They are so. I know
we can't dispute the fact that the quality is good.
Yes. So the thing is, why are we not finding a way to make it work here?
George, Nigeria Television Authority will never show any foreign program at their prime time. But here GBC shows telenovelas. Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. That's one of the differences.
You see, so like you said, I mean, the problem is it's a 360 problem. Right from the decision makers to, the lawmakers to the television stations to us as consumers, and equally as no, I wouldn't even blame the consumers. I wouldn't blame the consumers because in 1998 when there was Taxi Driver, there were still other beautiful content from the West that we could have consumed, but we all knew that on a Saturday, I think your show was on Tuesdays.
It was repeated on Tuesdays, but it was on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday repeated on Tuesdays. Yeah. So on Saturday, as a young adult or probably a little boy at my age then, I know that from watching cartoons to Koliko in the morning, all the way to By the Fireside, to Fanwell, to Inspector Bediakon, to Concert Party, to Ultimate. So we were giving locally produced content.
Showcase.
You get me? Showcase in different languages, all these things.
TV theater.
So you get me? So I think we've lost it now. We've lost it now. For us to all, be in a safer hands. And you see, it doesn't just benefit the celebrity when things are done properly. It benefits all. Because you want to go to somewhere like North Korea, their movie industry, their art industry is what is shaping the youth. Because in what they show on TV is how you live your life. You get me? I mean, these people are stabbing people because.
I know one Ghanaian, Sam. He's a big star there. I've forgotten his name.
If he was here, he wouldn't be star. Anyway. Really so what we're actually saying is that we can all make money. I mean,
Final words. I'm running out of time.
Okay, so what we are saying is that the corporate bodies, we need them to support the industry. We equally need the TV stations to, give the viewers the local content, very good local content. Now, if you give them, and these guys become stars. So when we groom a lot of, imagine we had very booming movie industry, and not just Honorable here, who is a brand ambassador. We probably have about 10, 15, 20 of them representing products and brands in this country.
Exactly.
I'm very sure that there will be enough money for people to, engage the services of managers and PAs and all these things, which will, increase employment. But unfortunately, thank you.
Honorable, final words. So
I think that most of the things we've said, but it will take policymakers to make the system work. We know America because of their films. I saw Rambo kill millions, thousands of people, and I felt that America was a very powerful nation. Because even one of them can kill this many people. You understand? We want to go to America. And that is what they've programmed Hollywood to do.
Yes.
To attract the eyes of the world onto America. What are we doing about ours? How best are we selling our creative arts to the world? Tourism is the second highest national income earner.
Yes. Also,
and what a better way to sell our tourism. When I saw Shelley's Perfect Picture going on Netflix, I am happy.
Yeah.
You will do a lot more than many politicians will travel abroad to do. It will tell them more about Ghana than many politicians will go and organize conferences per diem and all of that to do. So we need policymakers to understand that the benefits will not just inure to the talents, but the whole nation. And I tell you, it might give us more money than cocoa and gold.
Very true.
Right. So the conclusion is that it's a collective responsibility on the part of actors, musicians, sculptors, media personalities, policymakers, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. It is a collective responsibility for all of us. Thank you, Judge Britton. Thank you, Honorable Mikio Sebe.
Thank you.
AKA Master Richard, AKA Dadabo. Thank you for joining me today. We came to you live from Salmes Eatery and Pub here at East Legon. Do contact them for all your food needs. I was clothed by Mandy Fashion, located here in Accra at Adrengano and in Kumasi at Ahonjo. My name is Ajo Aloud. You can follow me everywhere on social media at Ajo Aloud G8. We'll see you again next week, Saturday at 11 a.m. This is the Pundits on GH1 TV.
What I read about your profile, you have stayed, schooled and worked in Nigeria before moving down to Ghana. From the experience you've had there
in Nigeria
and what you have here in Ghana, what do you make of